artists don't have to work.
Right.
They don't have to get a day job. Where an author or a writer doesn't have to have a job. They can just stay at home and create day after day after day. This world of starving artists. That's what we want to turn America into, right? So she wants to incentivize people not to work. So that's really it's a kind of a philosophy that's just getting more and more rampant in this country. And it's really a scary thing. And I don't want to talk to you this evening. You guys have a lot of important things to talk about. You don't need to hear from me. But I just want to say this, it seems as if the values that when I was growing up, and most of us here, I think, unfortunately, are as old as I am, I'm afraid. When we were growing up, there was this attitude that, I'm going to go out and work. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to prove myself in the community. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to push and push and push until I can make it happen. Somehow, some way, my parents will be proud of me. Or, we had that sort of an attitude. And there were a lot of people that didn't have that attitude. And they didn't, in many cases, they didn't succeed in that culture of 30, 40, 50 years ago. And their values were different in many cases. They didn't have that same work ethic. It wasn't instilled into them by the culture, by their parents for one reason or another. But the values of that lower economic strata of society, they're becoming the values of the middle class today. We really have to fight and pray and work to turn that around culturally. Because if we don't, this country doesn't have a future. The major resource of this nation are its people. That's all we've got. We talk about all the oil reserves and the coal, etc. But the key is the people. The key is the people. And that's how you win. You win with people. And we can't afford to lose people. So it's important that even if we lose some of these battles, even if we lose on Obamacare, and I have a bill, by the way, that Chuck's worked with me on, that would actually defeat it in Ohio. Matt Lynch calls it the Obamacare kill bill. And Matt has been a great leader and ally down in Columbus for me. I really appreciate him. But work with your neighbors, work with your friends, evangelize the American work ethic. Because we need people. We need people that are willing to work and make a difference and push until we can turn this country around. So, and with that, I'm just going to leave it in that.
I'll just offer a brief commercial before we get into the presentation here. Monday, the 23rd, you can hear more about Medicaid expansion because Matt Lynch and John Eklund, State Senator John Eklund, will be having a forum or debate on Medicaid expansion. I know which side Matt is on, and I know which side John is on. And Matt's opposed to Medicaid expansion, just to be clear. But that's Monday night, and there's literature on the tables, somewhere back in the tables back there about where it is. It's also on our Lake County Liberty Coalition website. The information is there as well. So you may know how you stand on Medicaid expansion, but maybe you can bring somebody else who is undecided and let them hear both sides of the story.
State Representative Nina Turner totally supports the expansion.
Yes, anybody with a D after the name supports Medicaid expansion. Okay, here we go, the beginning, Lake County Liberty Coalition. Here's what we're going to cover tonight, our starting point. We're going to talk about our core beliefs, our purpose, and the 5 B's. Now, the 5 B's aren't real apparent right now, but they will become as we go through, and then our next steps, where do we go from here? Okay, starting point. We're not starting out kind of at ground zero because we already have kind of a list of supporters. You're here, most of you are here because of that original list. We have ties to the Ohio Liberty Coalition, which is a conservative group in Ohio that the members of the coalition are liberty-minded groups like ourselves. We have contacts with elected officials. We have electronic contact. We have our website. How many of you have actually seen our website? If you'd raise your hand. Okay. The website is out there. It's on the literature that's passed out, or it's available on the tables back there. We also have, well, with that website, there's an information feed from the Ohio Liberty Coalition website about the current events that are going on in Ohio. And then we add additional things. We also have a Facebook page. And our target was to get 100 likes by the end of August. We didn't get there, but I think as of yesterday, the day before, we're at 86. So that's pretty good. And that number is growing. And then the most important thing is we have you who are patriots because you love your country and you want to do what you can to make a difference, and so that we don't head in the direction in which we're going. So it's not like we're starting at ground zero. We have some things already in place. Core beliefs. Here are the things that we believe in. We believe in God, who is our creator and sustainer. I believe that the Declaration of Independence mentions that creator, and they believed in him at that time as well. We believe that all men are created equal and are to receive equal protection under the law. Note that all men are created equal, not that all men have equality in outcomes. That's not what our founding was on. But that we would all have equal protection under the law. We believe that all men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are three very important rights, that no one can take life away from the innocent, that no one can take life away from the helpless, but that life is a right. That liberty is a right. Now, liberty is a word that is twisted around these days to mean something that it didn't used to mean, but liberty basically is the opportunity to do what's right within the context of not harming your neighbor while you're doing it. And the pursuit of happiness, which also incorporates the thought of property rights, and those were words that were considered when the Declaration of Independence was written. We believe in the sanctity of human life because God created it and God is the giver of life.
Amen.
We believe in the traditional family. God has put together or ordained the family unit, and we stand for that. We believe that marriage is the union of one man and one woman. That is the biblical foundation. That has been the traditional, basic unit within our society. This is one that you may have seen before somewhere. We believe in the fiscal responsibility in government. We believe in a constitutionally limited government, where the Constitution is interpreted as it was intended to be interpreted and not as someone wishes to interpret it at any particular point in time. There's all kinds of information available about what the original intent was for a Constitution, what those things mean, but they've been taken totally out of context and things brought out of thin air that abortion is a right that's found in the Constitution when it's clearly not found in the Constitution. I'm not going to get on Too many of those things. We believe in free markets.